Alright, part 4. We're going to reassemble this thing and hopefully not bore everybody to death. So what we got is that intake portion that got cleaned with the mass airflow cleaner. It's normal stuff that you do even nowadays with modern cars. They have sensors that are still around, like mass airflow, intake temperature control sensors. So you hit those with a chemical kind of like brake clean that cleans off any residue that's stuck on them. So that'll go back on. We got our air filter that is really clean. Just taking the light to see that there are no holes in this. That's be the worst thing to do, is put this back in with a hole. But you'll see how we clean this thing. Put it in a bucket. I want to say about 5 gallons of water with rubbing alcohol, 90%, and a dish soap. And that was soaking for about a day or two. Once I got that out, I sprayed out everything. You can see all the dirt we got out of that filter just alone from sitting and soaking. But I want to say it was about 3 tablespoons of dish soap and a cup of rubbing alcohol with that 4 to 5 gallons of water. So I used the wand at the sink to push out all the dirt from that cone. The cheaper filters would have crumbled being soaked for that long, but a legit performance filter, it's not, a cotton or nylon material. It's something different. I really don't know what it is, but the cheaper stuff crumbles when it gets underwater. Actual K&N performance filters don't. These are built to take the punishment. So that's our oil. We put that back on. Like you see, it's spec here set. It's probably mineral oil, if anything, but looks like we used maybe about 40 mils of spray. That spray bottle's awful. That's what comes with it, but it is what it is. It took me about 20 minutes to get that thing oiled up and ready. Alright, so we're back to putting this back together. You're going to see that it's not going to go back together as smoothly as it came out. I'm going to have to loosen up every connection and fit this thing back together. And that's honestly probably the time. Yeah, see, it doesn't line up perfectly, so that little part of that plastic intake tube just slips right in. It's got a pretty tight seal. You can see on that rubber coupling. And this is all rubber components that have been replaced already. When I got the car, the original K&N stuff was already dry rotted, so I had to find these couplings and kind of make them work. As you can see, that one's kind of custom cut to just slip over that plastic noise producing portion. And right now we're just trying to buy as much space as I can, a couple millimeters per coupling, to just tighten up that gap. This is normal too. This is what us car people do for things like this. Like, we're just cleaning / changing an air filter, and we're going through this insane gauntlet of just taking it apart, cleaning it, micro adjusting things, just to put it back together and do it all over in 6 months. It's insane. It totally is. I get why normal people look at us car people like we're weirdos, because we are. But that's what we do. This is our hobby. I mean, other people collect trading cards. I do this. So there you go. So everything goes back together kind of smoothly once you get everything loose and line it up. Put it together kind of loosely, and you'll find that I got enough space to play with here to tighten everything down. And the last bit is lining up this band clamp that goes to the throttle body. We'll snug that up, and that kind of keeps everything lined up perfectly in that hole, so it's not kind of bouncing around and touching everything around. So you can see the radiator gets very close, but it doesn't actually touch. And then we got our filter under here, putting that back on. You see me shaking it, there ain't much room. Once you get that filter on and tighten it up, there isn't much room for movement. They really designed these things to be such a tight tolerance. So the human error here, if you're not experienced, can really happen quickly without you noticing. So those two 10 mils go back in for that shroud, and now it's these self-tappers. This is a struggle right here. I think anyone who ever has dealt with the plastic, shrouds here with self-tapping bolts, goes into metal. And the problem is that these things is exactly what they're called. They self-tap. So you got to line these up precisely as they were from the factory. And this thing's a 96. Most of the time, this stuff on a normal taken care of car, not like something like this that's been meticulously taken care of, this hardware's going to be missing. There's a good reason for that. This is awful. But us car culture weirdos, we like this sort of thing. I mean, we were playing with erectasets when we were kids. Instead of playing outside with your friends, if you had friends, we were doing erectasets and Legos. So that's all finally back together nicely. That was a nightmare. That took me about 20 minutes just to get those two self-tappers back in. And then we got our wheel finally. Pretty important tip here: lug nuts or anything like this, make sure you put one on all the way by hand, and then the other one's, majorly by hand. You can really cross-thread these things pretty easy without knowing it if you just couple threads and jam it on with a gun. And us car culture people, well, we like doing this. So there you go. Put these on. 3, 4, and 5. Then we'll move on to the next bit here. We'll let this thing back on the ground now. Obviously, it looks like I'm checking to see if there's any looseness in the ball joints. And then the tie rods. It seems pretty tight. I haven't had any suspension issues since I bought this car. I've put close to 80,000 miles on it since I bought it. And the odometer sits at 177 miles. 177,000 miles. So pretty good. Pretty stout for this thing. It's my daily driver, really. And last bit is some dollop dressing. This is some good stuff I got from when I was working on forklifts. It's basically like Armor All in an aerosol can, and just brightens up a lot of the plastic components, and it doesn't deteriorate the elasticity in the plastic. So I'll have to see if I can find a link for this on Amazon or something. It's really nice stuff. And it just dolls it up very nicely, and it's an okay product for your plastic. Some things dry it up. So next bit, startup.